Oops. I just pulled my webcam down. Does it still work? Just a second. Yeah, it still works. What up?
Make sure that crafting, especially the gathering component, is fully integrated to the open world of Sanctuary. And the second is we want to make sure that if you go out of your way to collect all these recipes, materials, things like that, and spend your time to craft something, that it's worth your while. But outside of that, yeah, we're still working on it.
Hellhammer, what is this?
Have you seen it yet?
Oh, there it is, dude.
Upheaval, fire upheaval.
Use it. Damn, that looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. So max level
ignites the ground.
Currently, but
that's
that
cool.
Could potentially change.
Yeah.
So is it that you get to 40
Shit,
and
dude.
there's like Paragon levels?
All right.
Or
yeah, we do want to have an endgame progression system. Our main goal for that is we want to make sure that players pick meaningful choices when they're trying to form a build, and when they're trying to form a completely different build, then you can change out those choices that you made with another meaningful set of choices that fit the new build much better. And outside of that, no real hard decisions have been made yet, but that's the one thing that we want to hit.
Okay.
Gotcha. And the 1 to 40. So in D3 right now, getting 1 to 70 is pretty fast. Like, unless you're a new player, you know, if
it's
you're
getting faster and faster, right?
It's getting faster and faster. Yeah. So do you see it being like 1 to 40 could take months or hours or weeks? Do you have any?
Hopefully
anything
weeks.
You're aiming for in that regard?
Yeah, this is something that we're actively discussing, and it would be great if we can get some feedback from people too. Yeah, but we're not sure yet. So the factors that go into this decision. Oh, of course, it's not going to be as fast as Diablo 3, though, right? It's going to be much longer.
Great.
But how long exactly? Things like how long is the campaign experience? How long is the level up systems? Let's say like we have the skill point system and the talent tree system. If that's used for like 500 hours, that's probably way too much. So we have to calculate what we have.
I'd say 500 hours
and see if the leveling time is enough. If it's not, then we have to make some changes, right? Like we have to either shorten the time or introduce more systems during level up to make the extra time useful. So it's something that's very difficult to say this early on, but it is something that we are paying close attention to and discussing internally. But we would love to hear people's feedback, right? So if you can gather and then let us...
Feedback, what do y'all think? What do y'all think? How long should the should it be? Like, let's get some real answers, guys. Come on, no bullshit. 200. I think. What about like 150, 200 hours, and like 100 hours for somebody who's like really good, and they're like efficient with like their farming. Like, does that seem good? An in-game week, so that's 7 times 24. It's like what 170 hours, something like that. 160 hours. Shit. Like, let me think. Like Classic, that's too long. Classic is way too long. Because the thing is with Classic WoW, you're doing something for every single level. It's not just as simple as, oh, well, you're just leveling up and nothing's really happening. Like, and that's what that's what Kim just said, right? Is that they have to have, if they want leveling to take a long time, there have to be systems that make sense and that you progress through whenever leveling is taking a long time. So 25 to 50 hours. Actually, yeah, let's straw poll this. This is a really good idea. Let me go ahead and pull this up, okay? Give me 1 second here. Where is it? All right, yeah, we'll do it here. Straw poll. Okay, let's see. All right, how long should D4 leveling take? Let's see. 10 to 20 hours. 20 to 40 hours. Let's see. 40 to 80 hours. Let's see. Oops, sorry, I fucked up. Ah, shit, my bad. I'm so dumb. I clicked enter and not tab. 40 to 80, let's see, 100-ish. 20 to 150. I'm gonna give you guys a pretty good amount of answers, okay? 160 to 180, 200 to 250, 250 plus. Actually, we'll do 250 to 300 and then 300 plus. Okay. Is that... Yeah, these are hours. Let me see. Okay. There we go. All right, and there. Okay, does that make sense? 300 plus hours? Well, yeah, I mean, that's obviously a lot, but I mean, this is just kind of an answer. This is a poll just to see what the people say, right? Let's look at the results. Okay. Yeah, this is to get to max level. Just to get to max level, guys. Really? We got 100 votes? There's 50,000 people in the fucking chat. Go vote. You want the game to be good? You're watching content about the game? Go fucking vote. Go vote on this. Give them the information they need to have. Wait, it crashed? Can I refresh this? Okay, there we go. All right, so... Oh, wow. So, we've got a lot of casuals. Got a lot of casuals. 40 to 80 hours. Okay, I'll link it a couple more times. Slash poll now. Yeah, I didn't know if that was out yet or not. I really don't know. Okay, so yeah, everybody Pokemon go to this poll, all right? There it is. You link the search results? Yeah, whatever. They'll figure it out, okay? Oh, I did link the results. I'm dumb. I shouldn't have done that. Okay, so the majority of the players, I'll link it one more time. The majority of the players want it to be somewhere around 40 to 80 hours. I think this is probably good. So to me, I would say somewhere between like 100 to 200 hours. Like anywhere in there, like 100 to 200 hours. Like, you know, that's what I'd like to see. That's my personal opinion. I didn't want to share that because I thought it might influence the vote. But so this is what people think about D4 leveling. They don't know what they want. But yeah, but this is like just my opinion, right? And I think it's important. This isn't an MMO. Well, I know that. And like Classic WoW, it takes a lot more than 100 hours to level. So I don't really know your point. So yeah, it's 5 hours per day. 5 hours per day. 100 hours is like 20 days because RPG. 20 days to level. I don't know. Maybe 40 is perfect. Maybe it should be a little bit shorter. And again, like this is just kind of like what I like to see, right? And if they think it should be shorter, like I'm much more of like a hardcore player in that way, where it's like I want to put in a ton of time onto something. So maybe it should be shorter. But so most people think 20 to 40, so 40 to 80. So I think probably 40, like 30 to 70 hours. Most people, I guess, yeah, most people, 30 to 100 hours is what I would say the majority of the chat wants. 0 hours, like retail is perfect. Okay, I really hope Rhyker's going to ask him about the map here.
Snow, that would be great too, right?
Sounds great.
Yeah.
So, got 25 seconds here, real quick here. There's 5 open world areas. Is this just one of them, or is this all 5?
I'm pretty sure up to here is all of the Diablo 4 that we are planning so far.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So you can see it's a very small part, so we have a long ways to go.
Leaving room for expansion. I gotcha.
So this is the whole map. So it's not actually all 5 of them. Okay, so this is the whole map. The whole map being this big. I thought it was 5 zones. How's it going to be 5 zones? Yeah, how's it going to be 5 zones? I'm a little bit confused here. Map, you can zone in. Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking about that. It's a placeholder. I don't think it's a placeholder map. I would assume that it's basically the same thing. There's 5 dungeons. 5 zones in the map. Yeah, okay, I guess, but hopefully, like, I mean, I've never really played the game, right? So it's hard for me to say, like, oh, this is how big it should be, etc. But it seems like, yeah, I mean, if this is the whole map of the game, I don't know. It might be a little bit too small, but I have to play it and see.
Okay, cool. Any beta plans? Probably too early to.
Yeah, way too early.
Okay.
Yeah. We have a lot of work remaining to go.
Yeah.
Like, we are showing everything that we can. So if you open up like the skill tree, then the grayed out ones, we would have loved to show them, but like the effects are not ready or animation's not ready and things like that, right? So we do have a long ways to go.
All right.
Yeah. What was your favorite class so far?
So far, I think the druid. Part of it is that.
I think that's probably most people's favorite
powerful.
class
Part of
because it's
it
just
is
different.
It's been a long time since I played the druid.
Yeah.
Like I love the barbarian, but I can play barbarian in D3.
Oh, I see.
Same thing with the sword.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Druid is
exactly.
like, it's something people, there was
Yeah,
a
it's
time when
new.
people thought that it was going to come to D3 as a character back like the Necro.
I see. Yeah.
And then it seems like it didn't happen, so there's been a big demand for the druid. I think this is a big win to include the druid.
Man, but the
hell
wolves
yeah.
look so good, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they're good boys. They're
Yeah.
good boys. So we spoke about hardcore. There will be hardcore.
Yeah.
I don't know what more we want to say. This is going to act like it acted in D2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because other games do it that if you die in hardcore, you become a softcore character.
That's
we
what
don't
PoE does.
currently have plans for that, but we'll see what the players want, right? But currently the plan is to make it as true to the Diablo hardcore as possible.
All right. Do you want to speak a little bit to your plans on difficulty? So,
I actually prefer that whenever you die, you go to like just softcore. Like I don't know, it's like I don't know. I just prefer that. But yeah, I prefer that in PoE. Yeah, but I would never play hardcore to begin with. I think it's stupid.
currently D3, for instance, has 20 difficulty settings from up to Torment 16.
Yeah.
And then Greater Rifts have that infinite scaling. Do you envision D4 being more like, say, D2, where you have normal Nightmare Hell, or what kind of difficulty system do you think you're looking at?
Yeah, so that's a interesting one because for the level up experience, surprisingly, we aren't sure what the exact answer is yet. But for the end game, the key dungeons will.
I really hope that whenever they do the level up experience, they don't do what they did in vanilla D3, where they make you redo the same bosses on higher difficulties. I hope the level up experience is a fully fleshed out experience that has no repetition at all.
Act similar in that sense to Grifts.
It's not like hell or
So
hard
you
mode or
have
something
that
like that.
infinite kind of,
Yeah, like how PoE is.
challenge that you can
But
keep
PoE
going up,
wasn't
right?
always like that.
And in the
Used to do the
open
same thing in
world,
PoE.
in the end game, we want to make sure that there are difficult
There's like
challenges there
merciless
too,
mode or
to
something
add
like
to the
that.
replayability.
The other ones were.
But outside of that, it's something that we'll have to figure out. So we'll see in the future.
All
Yep.
right.
Yeah, so the Druid, if you check out some of the talents, you can actually attach some bonuses to shapeshifting.
All right, I'm just going to clear up this
yeah,
a bit.
yeah,
and,
right.
Awesome. Talents, okay. So
Yeah,
let's
so I
see.
think it's one of these somewhere.
Heightened senses. Damage reduction against nearby enemies is increased.
So it should say whenever you shapeshift
really
into
good.
a form.
Long
Yeah.
order form.
So this is very interesting because the bonus persists.
Ah, yes.
So you can actually stack up these bonuses at the exact right moments that you want. So I think that's one of the coolest things about rapid shapeshifting.
Yeah.
Because you can choose your bonuses, and items obviously will have even more choices, right?
Okay.
So when you cook legendaries, you can do some crazy stuff.
Okay, that's
and
cool.
the timing of when you change will matter a lot, right?
Right.
Yeah. So it visually looks awesome, but on the systems design side, it's cool because you have that full customization of I'm choosing what happens, and I'm choosing when it happens too, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel like the talents are dynamic enough? And some of them are to an extent, but I think that's something that's really important. So my concern with like these talents is if they don't want to have like a high level of numerical complication, I think they need to offset that with something that's going to make it to where like I'm thinking about explaining it, something that's going to make it to where all of your other decisions are more meaningful. So you can't have like no like numerical difficulty in terms of like figuring out all the math and then also not have a lot of stat changes. It has to be one or the other at least. Too early? Yeah, it could be too early, but I mean I feel like also you guys need to remember that it's most important that we give feedback now It's most important that we give feedback now rather than in, by the time they get into beta. The earlier they get feedback, the easier it is for them to say, okay, well, this is what the players want. Well, then we can change it. It's kind of like, imagine it's like this. I'll draw another stupid fucking graph, all right? So imagine if you're sailing over from, this is America, and this is Europe, all right? And you want to go right here. And you're going here, right? And so you need to go here instead. Well, right now, we're about right here in the development cycle. So the difference that you need to make between where you are and where you want to go is smaller now than what it will be in alpha, beta, and then release. So the point that I'm making is that the earlier that we give feedback, the easier it is for them to literally or metaphorically turn the ship around and go to where we want them to be. Okay? So that's why I think it's really important for us to give feedback early on. Hopefully that makes sense.
Now, party size, has that been determined yet? Is it going to be 4?
Yeah.
Is it going to be 8?
Yeah, party size is 4, but as you saw from...
Okay,
maybe
that's fine with me.
It,
We did, the open
world
world.
boss.
No complaints.
Yeah.
So the world boss requires like multiple parties. There will be other activities that require multiple parties as well. But yeah, the party size is 4.
All right.
I wonder, like, so a big question to me is, like, how much organization in, like, these world bosses are there? So, like, a 40-man raid or something like that? Yeah, like Lost Ark has this. I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever seen that game. Lost Ark raid boss. Let's see if I can show you guys something like that. Is there anything here that I can give you? I don't know if this is a good example or not. Like, I don't know, like, what the level of... Shit, sorry, let me turn that down. What the level of coordination is that's required. So, is it, like, basically... Like, the WoW world bosses, for example... the WoW world bosses are basically, like... You have a bunch of different groups of people, but they're not actually... They're not actually doing anything. Like, they're just going around and they're not coordinating. They're just running in there. So if these world bosses, require a bunch of people, are they going to require a bunch of people with the expectation that those people are actively coordinating and working with each other? Or are they going to be difficult in the level that they're just basically designed for a few parties of people to come together and just kill them? And that's what I'm curious about. And if not, are there going to be any challenges like that in the game? Because I'd like to see that. I don't know why, I think that'd be really cool. If there were different bosses like that you'd have to, you'd have to bring in like 20 people in to fight. I don't know how they could do that. And, maybe it would be like a separate, like, instanced raid. I don't know how that would work, though.
So we heard about trading, that there will be trading.
Okay.
Is it only in the town hub so that can happen?
No, but trading is very interesting because we have a specific goal for trading, which is we want to make sure that there is trading in Diablo 4, but not completely open-ended trading, so that players can't just get all the best items by like not even playing the game, right?
Right.
So where we're at right now is there are items that are tradable all the time, so we can maybe use that flag as anything that's common in the game. Maybe we can use that flag. For bind on trade items, I can find something very cool, and then I can use it for as long as I want, and then I can give it to you or something like that. But once I give it to you, you can't trade it anymore. So this flag, we can use it for even some of the best items in the game, but not all, obviously, right?
Yeah.
And then finally, we have the bind on pickup, which everyone should know how that works, right? So something like this, I think, is a good example of where a solution that fits our goals. But I don't think this is the end all, and it's something that we'll have to iterate more on. So this is another one of those things that I really want feedback from people on, is why I'm so like detailed with this, with this answer, right?
This is the same question basically Quinn asked. I don't know. Like, what do you guys think? I'm curious, man. What do you guys think? Prefer trade it forever? I think that high-end, end-game, like let's say there, as I said, like the boss like Shaper, for example. If there is a boss that is exclusive to a certain type of difficulty, and the drops from that boss are exclusive to that boss, I do not think those items should be tradable. If that makes sense. You guys want a poll on that? I don't know. I don't know. You guys want a poll? Well, let's go ahead. We'll do a poll. Should items be tradable in D4? Yes, no, yes with restrictions. Okay, yes, restrictions. Only, let's see, only crafting materials. Yeah, I think that'd be good. Yeah, only crafting materials. I think that's a very good comparison. Zaldor donated $100. I appreciate that very much, man. Thank you. Zaldor Warrior, aren't you tired of tanking this boss? Where have you been last summer? This is where I was, and it's a YouTube video. I do not click any video, man. I'm sorry. I do not ever click links for any reason. As much as people would like me to, I don't like to see it. I do not. Massive recipe. Wait, massive recipe? Oh, wow. Greater fire protection potion. Holy shit. Passing on that. Okay, let's see. I'll go ahead and I'll link this poll to you guys, and we'll see what it is. Okay, are there any more, what do you call it? Yeah, we got a greater fire protection potion recipe. Are there any other questions in here that you guys want me to add? Or, options in here you guys want me to add? Ignored? Well, no, I just simply do not click links for any reason at all, period. I do apologize, but I do not click links. Only in-game, okay, everything tradable minus end. It's so like in-game doesn't mean anything. In-game loot. I'm just gonna put it in parentheses, in quotes, okay? Only non-bind items. Okay, tradable only once. I don't like, I think that's like a silly thing. I think they're just doing that to prevent commodity markets, which I don't think is really a big deal to begin with. I think commodity markets are actually really, I think they're really cool emergent gameplay. So, yeah, I disagree with that. Okay. So, a lot of people have some items that are BOE like WoW and BOP. Data loot was always tradable. They'd need to have a currency system just like PoE has. Yeah, maybe. But the thing with PoE currency, something that somebody brought up yesterday, is the PoE currency has intrinsic value because each of the currency items are actually used for something separate than just buying and selling things. Like Chaos Orbs have a use. Exalted Orbs have a use. Whereas like gold doesn't have a use. It's purely a fiat currency. It's like, it's the difference in like actual like gold standard or gold and like a fiat currency like dollar bills. It's like actually a good way to look at it. Is Path of Exile just like a really... Is that just like a really just like deep sleeper agent thing to red pill people on the gold standard? Because the money itself has to have value? That's woke. That's real woke. What the fuck, dude? Okay, just give me 1 second. I'm going to link this one more time, then we're going to look at the rest of this, okay? Yeah, that's big brain. Should items be tradable? Yes, with restrictions. Yes, everything tradable minus endgame loot. So only crafting materials. All right, so most people think yes. Well, with restrictions, this could mean anything, but most people do want loot to be tradable. I agree with that. Who votes no? Well, some people don't want to have loot tradable. D4, D3 doesn't have that. Some people like D3.
I know that a lot of people in the community would love to see more interaction from the devs, love more open communication.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can speak to that, but just to pass it along, people love when they can interact with devs.
Yeah,
be
so
it on the forums, be it on Reddit.
Yeah, so it kind of depends on which state the game is in, right? Like obviously we just announced for the first time, so it's not going to be the same as say like in a live game, but I think the current plan is after this announce, we will kind of check back with the community and give some kind of media updates on various different parts of the project in kind of a more regular way, right? So I think last Luis talked about it. It was maybe 4 times per year to start off with, and then see how adjust as we go, right?
All right.
What do we just start off with? Does that mean it's going to be more than a year?
Use amount, right? I haven't
What?
not found the button.
What's read between the lines here?
Yeah, it's not in the demo yet. It's,
Okay,
it's
all
very early in the development, so what you see is pretty much all we have so far.
Okay.
Yeah, but more to come in the future.
Gotcha.
Fuck.
Check out what's over here.
Have you checked out the Garen hold? It's like a more difficult. It's on that site.
I didn't know.
Oh, I see.
Is that
Yeah.
over?
Go
It's
in
a
there.
similar
And the
difficult
Google
dungeon.
Maps system there.
Yeah.
Go over
So
there.
you're level 20, but the dungeon is level 23, right?
All right.
When does Lost Ark come out for Western audiences? When does it come out? Wait, never? Wait, what? No Western release? Fuck. Okay, well, not announced yet at all. Not announced, but planned. Is that right, Nico? Okay, well, hopefully they'll bring that out. I'd really like to try that out. We'll see. Of Lost Ark in Russia? Yeah, I know people are using VPNs to play it in Russia.
People are mentioning the possibility of doing. You guys can do live streams where you can have people ask you questions in chat.
I would love that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah. We'll
Okay,
have
it's
to
not going to happen.
work out the details, like where we
Yep.
go from here, right?
That one's not going to
But,
happen.
yeah, me personally,
Nope.
I love the idea of getting the community feedback more aggressively and working with the community, but that's very hard to do if there is no playable game out in the public.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes,
Yeah.
right? Because when I was on like StarCraft, for example, we had very heavy community interactions, but that was because we have the live game, we can put out the balanced test maps, all this stuff, right? So it'll be a little bit of a different situation here, right?
Okay. So we know that clans will be in the game, and I think that as a feature you can trade. I think there's like a shared stash, maybe a clan stash.
Oh yeah, like a clan bank or something like that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Any
yeah.
other clan integrations you're considering, or you think
This is a really good question.
Oh, for example, clan leaderboards is something that we're considering, but clans is also very early. Like we probably have to build a lot more of the game first before we.
That'd be
social
really
features,
interesting.
But we definitely want to do clans, and we definitely want to have features in the game that promote social play and
Hell yeah,
allowing players
man.
to make friends if they want to.
All right.
Oh, it is getting harder from here too.
Yeah, I can see. I like how Kim is trying to direct them around. You know, he's like, "Oh, go do this, go do that." You know, it shows that he's kind of really, really passionate about seeing people play the game in like whatever way. I like that a lot. It's really good to see. So I like the dev looks really chill. Yeah, I like this dev too. It's great. He knows the bugs. Yeah, hey, there it is. Yeah, backseating him. Well, he's basically playing the role of chat. So clan leaderboards sound amazing. I wonder like how do you do clan leaderboards? What can clans be leaders of? Are there going to be like things like in Black Desert where there's like castles you have to hold and stuff like that? I don't know. So a clan hall, yeah, bosses, like world bosses, like, yeah, that's a good point. Like, yeah, world boss kills, like, are there larger spaces where the entire clan or 40 members or 30 or 10 members in the clan can go in there together and try to complete something that's larger than just a 4-man party? That'd be really cool. I mean, for example, like, since there's no real way to coordinate with other people that aren't in a party, what if you were able to all zone into a certain instance that you could go into with only members of your same clan and then fight harder bosses and bigger bosses inside of that specific instance? That would be really cool. And I'd really like to see that too. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Should try Grim Dawn. I've seen a little bit of Grim Dawn. I didn't play it though. Like Vampire Clan? Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Remember,
yeah.
You're not in the dungeon
Yeah,
yet.
yeah. So we heard that the weather system is really deep, that like if it rains your character will get wet, enemies will get wet. Is that just a visual thing, or will there be any gameplay mechanisms like
What happens when they get wet?
People more or anything like that?
I think that kind of stuff just went in, so currently
Yeah.
it's just visual, but we'll see how that turns out, right? And where those things appear. And depending on that answer, we'll be able to do more or less with it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But it would be pretty cool if you can interact with the weather in specific ways, especially in like endgame dungeons or something like that, right?
That would be really cool.
Any word on increasing clan size from D3 from 150? You probably.
Oh yeah, we haven't talked about the clan size yet at all, but yeah, any feedback would be.
Hopefully
welcome
it's
there.
1,000.
I know a lot of people would like it to be bigger, but
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure. Yeah, right.
it's it's going to be a technological limitation, I imagine. Speaking of technological limitations.
I do hope that they do that. I mean, like, I want it to be 1,000. I mean, Olympus. Yeah, Olympus. Yeah, exactly. Well, it's like in Path of Exile, your clan can only be like 100, I think, and then you have to buy extra clan slots. I spent some money on like buying extra clan slots for my guild too in PoE, and so I'd like to see a little bit more play there. Yeah, clan slots. Yeah, I'd like to see just 1,000 people in a clan. I don't know. It's what I'd prefer.
Limitations. Someone noted that the demo's running on 2080s, and they were asking about ray tracing.
Yeah.
Oh, I would not be the right person to ask for something
Okay, he
like
has
that,
no
but
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another dev also mentioned that they don't know.
Oh, okay, yeah, right.
Yeah. So, you guys did mention though that it's coming to PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that. I mean, I guess it would eventually be ported to the next-gen consoles too. I think some people are surprised that it wasn't the default to be for the next-gen consoles.
Oh, I see. I mean, those are not out yet. And then, like, even we don't know when the ship date is. So, depending on the ship date, anything can happen. But, yeah, currently, because those are the ones that we know, we're developing for those two consoles.
Okay. All we know about release date is that it was said it's not going to be soon, not even Blizzard soon.
Yeah.
Does that mean, like, 10 years?
Hopefully not, right? Because we've been developing for a
Hopefully
few
not.
years now.
Oh, great.
And,
Wait a second. He said developing for 4 years. 4 years. God damn. Yeah, it's not gonna. A few. Did I say a few? Okay. Well, 3 or 4 years. All right. At least 3 years. Well, I didn't hear it. Yeah, I didn't hear what he said. At least 3 years. That's a long time. I mean, I don't know. I've never made a game, so I don't know what the turnaround on that kind of shit is.
yeah. Hope not, yeah. But we'll see, yeah.
We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, so a lot of these storm skills, so
Yeah.
like, we want to
They're
make
OP
sure
as fuck,
each
apparently.
class is very distinct and different in as many ways as possible.
Good
so
to
you
hear.
know that the sorceress uses lightning magic, and then the druid uses storm magic, right? So one of the mechanical ways that we're differentiating the two is we're trying to make it so that a lot of the storm skills are persistent effects. So you can cast that spell and then do whatever else you want, right? Versus lightning can't do that, so it's like a very clear mechanical difference.
You set
right?
the
So we want
stage.
to try to do
I
more
like
of
that.
in Diablo 4.
So I know that this effect is the mana is sorcerer only, but the hit effect of the Hydra
Mm-hmm.
also applies to me, or also sorcerer only.
Yeah, so hit effect is, I don't know if you're aware of proc scalars in...
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, okay, yeah. So we're visualizing what that is a little bit more so. So each skill should have a hit effect chance.
Okay.
So it's going to allow players to exactly know the exact numbers before they plan the builds, which is different from Diablo 3, because in Diablo
Yeah, that's
3,
a little bit odd.
it was a little bit hidden, so it looks like, oh, I'm going to get so many procs off of this skill, but you actually didn't get that, right? So that's what that is. And then here, yeah, like Hydra is spawned whenever you, with a 5% chance.
It spawns the Hydra. I like it.
Someone noted right away that there's no shoulder slot. Is that definitive?
Nothing, I would say, is definitive, but the current thought for it is visually, we wanted to make sure that we have that visual variety of like some armor pieces having really awesome shoulder pieces, some armors having no shoulder pieces. Say like the Barbarian, if an endgame look was topless, for example, that would be pretty cool, right?
Right.
So it's a visual change, and if we need more item slots for mechanical reasons, we can of course do that separately. So
Like you did it with a barb with the arsenal.
Okay.
yeah, right.
Do you wanna
Okay.
explain that system a little bit?
Oh yeah.
So that sounds really good. I mean, if they're gonna do that seems completely fine. I mean, like the no shoulder slots. I mean, I think that for a lot of us, we probably do want to have a higher degree of customization. But I think if they want to go for an in-game look that has to be more like one thing or another, I don't know. I mean, like, it depends on how they look. I mean, it's not a big deal one way or another to me.
So the Barbarian can equip 2 two-handed weapons and 2 one-handed weapons.
Fuck
so he
yeah.
actually gets to use more items than any other class.
Good. Because they're
and
better.
Why that's cool is because,
They're
for example,
better.
there's a talent that says every time you swing a different weapon, you get this buff, and then you can stack this buff, right?
Oh,
so
and
it
then
just
you
gives
swap.
us more hooks for the Barbarian to play very differently compared to any other class in the
That's
game,
like a
right?
skill cap
so
thing.
We can
I
do
like
stuff
that.
like whenever you
Yeah.
swing two-handed weapon after dual wielding, something cool happens, things like that, right? So it just gives us a lot more, I guess, cool mechanical hooks for the Barbarian builds to be very different from other classes in the game.
Yeah, I like that a
know
lot.
some
Yeah.
people were asking about skill synergies, like in D2. Any plans on anything like that?
So probably runes,
of course.
right?
Especially on the legendary item side, we're going to try to do as many synergies
Oh,
as possible.
like that. Okay.
And with that change of legendaries being more powerful than set items in Diablo 4, you'll be able to fully customize exactly what you can do on every single slot and on every single skill slot too, right?
All right. Now I think itemization-wise, someone I believe it was.
That's probably better than what they did with D3 because like all the different, like what's the word for it? All the different glyphs for your spells, you basically just learned those as you leveled up. There was nothing you really did to obtain those items or anything like that. And I feel like, yeah, it's kind of boring. You know, it's just kind of fucking boring, man. Anything's better than D3? Well, yeah, but like, there's more to it than that. D3's biggest problem is the set items being so good it's the best. Yeah. I mean, well, it just locks down a lot of pieces. It's kind of the same issue that Blizzard saw with Legion, where there were so many pieces in the game that you didn't really have as many choices as you thought you did. So yeah, I can see that too.
Joe Shelley was talking about how there is going to be that progression of magic to rare to legendary, and some people feel like, okay, well, I kind of like the idea of that maybe a rare could be an endgame item. Is that at all possibly on the table?
They had that a little bit in vanilla D3.
Or probably legendaries.
Yeah. So if many players feel like it's too much choice to have to decide legendary powers on every single item slot, then that could be a possibility. But where we want to start, where we think we want to start, of course, anything can change until we release the game, is we want to try giving players the full control and in as many slots as possible first. And if for some reason testing doesn't go well, then that is a definite possibility that we can switch to.
Okay, so that's a lot. So like every single item that you're getting or every single slot, basically what he's saying, is going to have a legendary possibility on it. And if players are getting overwhelmed with choices, then they could just go back to having certain items. Choice is always better. Yeah, I feel like it is. I don't think that like in a game like D3 or D4, I'm okay with some of the slots just being passive modifiers rather than things that actively change your decision. But that's only like a couple. I feel like most of the items, especially if you're not going to have like a really deep talent tree and a lot of other modifiers like PoE has, I feel like you should have as many different options as possible to customize everything that you can with the tools that you have. There's always going to be Abyss. Of course, there's always going to be Abyss. I mean, that's just the way that, that's the way anything goes. There's no real reason to even concern yourself with that. Of course, there's always going to be Abyss.
Any plans for leaderboards?
Yeah. So we love the idea of, especially the leaderboards where you can compete with people you know. So we'll definitely do that. And aside from that, I think it's a little too early to talk about the exact plans for
maybe like friends-less leaderboards. That'd be interesting.
All right.
Yeah.
Is there a secret cow level?
A secret
the
cow
right
level?
answer is there is no. There hasn't been, right?
Yeah.
I'm not the
Okay,
best
so there's
person
a cow
to
level.
describe that in the coolest of sentences. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Any plan for support builds? So, for instance, D3 was designed that
like ZDPS
builds.
builds.
I want every build to be a DPS.
Yep.
Is that same philosophy in mind here, or do you want there to be actual, like, do you want support builds to be a thing?
Yeah, I like that.
Support. We are building and trying out different types of legendaries that support support builds.
Quintil.
But at the same time, what we want to try to do, if we can, is make it so that you are actually doing something against the monsters too, right? Like for example, say you have this skill that pulls everything together, and then you can combo that with a different skill that like stuns everything in place or something like that, right?
You mean like
And
actually
maybe you can attach
exactly like a
something
monk?
Every time you hit with
Yeah.
this other skill, it reduces the
Let's
cooldown of
just
those
say.
2 critical skills that you need to use, right?
Yeah,
So
like a monk.
we want to make sure that everyone is playing the game and fighting the monsters, and at the same time still have those options for if I want to play a lot more support, I can do that. If I want to play a lot more damage, then I can do that too, kind of thing.
Okay.
What did you think of charms in Diablo 2?
Oh, the inventory space was difficult, right?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. I think the upside is it's cool collecting these cool bonuses to items, and that interacts with the kind of the item Tetris of it all. But what's a little bit not as ideal, I guess, is making a system so that you sacrifice convenience for power. So it's like if I'm okay with going back to town like 100 times more than you, then I can be more powerful.
Yeah.
That I think we can improve if we did something like that.
I agree with that. I actually completely agree with that entirely. Yeah, it's like if there's a bunch of inventory and stuff and you have to worry constantly about moving back and forth, it seems kind of, it seems, what's really the good word for this? I don't know, it's boring, okay? It's boring, it's needless time. Like, travel time, I think, should be, to some degree, minimized. It's tedious, it's obsolete, it's boring, it's laborious, it's a hassle, it's redundant, it's inconvenient, counterintuitive, unjustified, zero vocabulary stream, charms were a mistake, indubitably. Very true. Okay, let's go to the rest of this.
Definitely
Boring,
agree there.
yeah.
So early D3, they stated that there was going to be the talisman system to store like a separate inventory just for charms.
Oh, I see.
Any thoughts on something like that?
That'd be cool.
Coming back, that you don't have to do that inventory Tetris with the
I
charms.
see. Yeah, yeah.
Just
And we do have different inventory slots now too, right?
yeah.
Yeah, we don't currently have plans for that, but it's something that we can definitely discuss. So I'll take it back to the team and discuss next week. Yeah.
Will the Rhykker cube or some incarnation of it make a return?
Yeah, I also think the cube is one of those things that is very Diablo defining.
Yeah, it's awesome. I
so
love the
we do
cube.
want some of those effects.
Cube is awesome.
I don't think we've talked about mythic items yet. We will in the panel briefly. So mythic items are the strongest items in Diablo 4. You can only equip one of those items, but they have 4 legendary powers on them.
Oh.
So naturally, you can kind of imagine the chances of getting the 4 exact powers that I want is not that high, right?
Right.
So if we had something like the cube, of course, it makes sense for that system. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
So you're building your character. I guess, is this going to be like what the meta is you get like your mythic item and then you build your character around the mythic item? Because it depends on how many of those you get. Are they just like, it's just a second, guys. Are they just like yeah, I got it. It's taken care of. Let me turn this off real quick. Okay. So is it like you get the mythic items regularly, you get a chance? Well, Spark, Tiger Panda, just a second. Let me read your donation. Diablo 2 is one of my favorite games. I'm excited with everything I've seen of D4 so far. Dude, I'm going to play the fuck out of that game, man. The Barbarian reminds me of my ex-wife. Zydor did? Oh, man. Okay. Wow, I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing. Thank you very much for the $20, man. I appreciate that. What do you think about Shadowlands? I mean, like, it's too early to tell. I mean, they're going to do the deep dive panel pretty soon, and then we're going to be watching that and waiting to get the information from that. And that's basically what my opinion is, right? That's it. Okay, just give me 1 second here. Was not aware that you don't click YouTube links. Yeah, I think that actually what I might do is that I have like my right under the box that says that I like the donate box, it says I don't click links for any reason. So I might actually just put that right exactly on the picture itself, so people can never click on it without seeing that I don't click links. And it's kind of hard for me to like communicate that with people, it seems. But I think people they just still want me to click links. I don't know why. I think like other streamers do it. I find it a bad idea to click links, and that's why I haven't done it, and I never will do it. Okay, give me a second. I'm reading the rest of these. Tradable with past completion of activity. That's kind of interesting. So yeah, you have like the ability to trade based off you've completed something. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that could work. One way or another, I am really excited for the game too. Yeah, one way, I'm very excited for the game. Even if the game doesn't turn out to be amazing, I still think it'll be fun for a month.
So I heard that you definitely want the end game itemization, end game builds and automation to be in the player's hands. That customization,
Yeah.
the design philosophy almost for the D3 builds is almost like the devs sort of dictate what the builds are going to be based on the set bonuses.
Kind of feels like that, right?
It feels that way, yeah. Of course, players will always find certain combinations, but it still feels like there's a direction that the devs are pointing you in.
Yeah.
And it sounds like that's not the approach you're taking for D4.
Yeah, we want to create as many legendaries as possible so that people feel like they have enough options. And of course, like I talked about before, we want to create this scenario where we can introduce new items to the game through seasons. So that way, so like the most hardcore players out there, they love to discuss various topics online.
Yes,
so
we do.
What we can do is if there is ideas on like this build will be really awesome if there was just this one type of item, then we can actually explore that and add that to the game and stuff like that too, right?
Okay.
So it's kind of going beyond, you'll have full customization in game, and also we can kind of work together to figure out what are some new types of builds that you can play in future seasons kind of thing, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think them like kind of informing themselves through like what the community wants with like new items and stuff. I think that sounds really, really cool. Maybe like, I don't know if they could have something where like